Okay, I'm here. I'm live. Um, what is good? What is really good? Um, I was thinking about not um uh going live on YouTube and going live on Twitch instead, but I thought, nah, I'll go live on YouTube this time. Because it might not be that long of a stream. Because I just wanted to talk about um a concept idea that I had, um, which um can't be done now. So I just wanted to talk about that and um, just talk about how NetherRealm Studios and their decision making when it comes to Mortal Kombat 11. So as the title reads, Mileena Mod can't be done. So obviously, the PC modding community is a very great, good, and much needed community for gaming, right? So you can basically customize, edit, or add features to some of your favorite games. Um, there's some amazing stuff that is happening with the community when it comes to modding Resident Evil 2 remake, for example. Um, MKX had great, amazing mods for that.
Katana.
Amazing mods for that, right?
Devora.
And there's a lot of other games, and that's one of the things that I'm most excited about. Before when I eventually get my own workstation, is playing games that you can add mods to them, such as I'll definitely be playing Gears of War. I'll be playing
Tarkatan War Camp.
Resident Evil 2. The modded features with it, it's just amazing. MKX. There's so much. There's so much different mods for the for games on PC, right? So the idea that I had, what I was planning to do, and this would have been a downloadable mod from me that you receive when you subscribe to my Twitch. So you'll just get like an automatic notification of a Mileena mod for MK11. And how I would have done it is I would have obviously teamed up with someone. I would have collaborated with someone that knows how to do PC mods, right? And this would have been a very this would have been a unique mod. It would be quite specific, because it would be, and this is like the concept that I had. It would encompass everything and involve things that is already within Mortal Kombat 11 to make a playable and somewhat realistic Mileena mod, right? if you remember MKX, there was mods for like different types of skins, different types of outfits. But there was also like mods for like being able to play as Baraka, being able to play as Rain, and also being able to play as Sindel in MKX. That was awesome. That was great. For whatever the reason, and I think this is a huge hindrance to not just this game, but to games in general, that NetherRealm or NRS, NetherRealm Studios, I guess, has prevented the modding community in order. They've prevented the modding community to have the amount of freedom to mod MK11, and that does piss me off because there's certain things that can improve upon, that can be improved upon for your game. Okay, so you know, and it just happens with MK11. There's so much things a lot of people have demanded, from characters being included, from different types of skins being included, different types of shaders being included, even different filters, because you know, with MK11 in particular, when you play or do certain fatalities or fatal blows, it is YouTube will flag it, the video, right? So you know, things like filters, different types of costume skins, and all these kinds of things people have asked for. But for whatever the reason, NetherRealm has made it so that you can't do that with this game. They've made it so that you can mod very, very small amounts of this game. So you can, from what, this is from the research I've done and from what I've seen, you can make it so that you can change the camera angle, or like you see the rainbow in the background of the Tarkata war camp. You can like actually move the camera all the way down there and see what it's like down there, or above these two characters right now. What else? There's I've seen a I don't know how to explain it, but like a 2D pixel S type filter you can do as well. But I don't know if that's done via the in-game kind of tools to do a mod or whatever. And other than that, you can swap things over. So as I was speaking with someone that does mods for games such as MK, I asked him, can you how much freedom do you have in MK11 to, you know, create mods or edit things in the game? How much restrictions do you have? And the response was like, you can swap things over. So I was thinking, okay, so there is hope, because what my concept was, and I'm gonna lay it out right now. I mean, maybe possibly in the future, if someone is able to crack MK11 somehow, I don't know, it might be able to be done where you can add things to MK11 that isn't naturally in the game. That will make it more fun. But anyway, what my concept was obviously to make Mileena in this game. But I would use Kitana, as you can see, as the template. At this point, the only moves of Kitana's I would have kept is a couple of her brutalities, which are Mileena's, I would have kept this. I would have kept that. Instead of the fan being thrown, it would have been swapped with the size from the Towers of Time, right? What else would I have kept? I would have kept. I'll just turn on easy crushing blows. I would have kept that crushing blow. I would have kept this crushing blow. Why didn't that not crushing blow? Why is that not crushing blow? I would have kept that crushing blow. So she would have had 3 crushing blows from Mileena, from Kitana. Her jump would have been the same as Kitana's. Obviously she will look the same, but she will always have a mask on. Always. And walk speed and all that kind of stuff would have been Kitana's, right? The difference would have been in some of her special movesets. So a majority of the moves I would have given my modded version of Mileena for this game would be as follows. It would be all from this guy, right? And you know my Baraka skin is just cold.
Devora.
Timothy Hughes, what's good, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Tarkatan War Cant.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm literally just explaining my Mileena, my MK11 modded Mileena concept, and things involved with Netherrealm. Just to make things look more visually better, I'm gonna take off everything, right? Okay, so so imagine Kitana, okay? I would have used Kitana as the template. I would have given her this, right? I would have given her that. What is it? So I would have given her this move. I would have given her that, and so you know that one. Was it Spartan? I think it was this one. And so that move alongside these 2 moves here, I would have been like a pounce variation, like a, you know, a Mileena pounce variation. Just imagine this, but imagine this is like all using the Kitana template. So not much is being done except for things are being swapped. So instead of using Baraka's blade charge, I would have taken away Kitana's square wave special move. Let's just say that for example, right? I would have given her this. Okay. So I would have given her that. She would have had the crushing blow. She would have had the crushing blow, and because it's a Baraka animation, you see how Baraka's blades are purple here? They'll just stay the same like this. They'll stay the same because I don't think you'll be able to tell that they're size or blades. If you see the point I'm making, right? So she would have had that. That would have replaced Kitana's matter of fact, yeah, that would have replaced Kitana's fan lift, for example, and this would replace Edenian razors. So she would have this, right? And she would also have the crushing blow to go with it. So that all of that would have been on a, you know, in MKX, Mileena's, like, I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Pounce. No, Ravenger. Ravenous. That would have been the Ravenous variations, where she'll have this move, she would have had this move, and she would have had that lunge that Baraka does, right? Okay, so just picture that on Kitana, those moves, right? That would have been one variation for this modded version of Mileena. Now, matter of fact, let me see his grab real quick. No. No. Just checking. Because I thought really long and hard about what things to add to this mod to make it semi-realistic to what it would be like if Mileena was originally made for this game, okay?
Scarlet.
I'm gonna use Scarlet for this example.
Sindel, Kotal Khan, Devora, Tarkatan Warcat.
This is the level of depth I went with this concept, and hopefully, possibly, it still could be done, but it can't be done. So you know how Kitana's stance is, like, she's quite leaned forward. I would have given her Scarlet stance. This Scarlet stance is what I would have given her. Okay? This is the stance that she would have had. Because I think this is more like a Mileena-esque stance to me. Other than the fact that she cuts herself, but that's neither here or there. Okay? So, just to summarize, she would have had all of Baraka's lunges and his leg kebab, along with the crushing blows to go with him. She would have had Scarlet's stance.
Jade.
And with Jade, and I kind of cover this in a video that I'm gonna post soon.
Devora.
But with Jade, I would have given the Mileena mod a lot of Jade stuff, because believe it or not, I think Jade has more things from Mileena than Kitana does. So I would have given her that, which would be her standing one. Her down 4 would have been this, and her down 3 would have been this, which is all Jade's, right? Because when you think about it carefully, these are all Mileena's moves anyway, from MKX. This is Mileena's, that's Mileena's, even that's Mileena's, but she does it down here instead. Right? So she would have had those 3 moves. I also would have given her this. I would have given her this. right? At first, I was thinking this would make sense solely because of the brutality. But then I thought about it more. If you can imagine Jade doing this without the pole, just imagine her doing it without the pole. Imagine the pole's invisible. It's something that is viable, and Jade most likely could do it. She's just using the pole just to be extra. So she would have had this, right? And this would have been a part of the Mileena piercing variation, right? What else of Jade's would she have had? I would have given her this. A forward 4 would have been this. And that would have been everything I would have given her from Jade. Almost getting to the end of the concluding parts of what I would have added.
Devora.
I'm only using Devora just in case I have to hurt her. Carl Clark, hey man, what's good, man? How you been? Welcome. Okay, so with Sindel, I would have given her just this move here, right? And obviously this move you can special cancel it as well, so you know. So I would have given her this move. Pretty good. Besides this annoying news that I've discovered about NRS. But yeah, I would have given her this move. So everything I've said, just picture that katana that I already had up, right? And that move I would have swapped Kitana's forward 4 for that instead. I would have swapped it for that, and I would have made it so that her forward 4-1 would have been that Jade forward 4, if that makes sense. And the last thing would have been
Kano. Devora. Tarkatan War Camp.
So again, just imagine all this using the Kitana template, because this is the concept I had for the Mileena mod. Yeah, me too. I miss her too. For the Mileena mod, right? In her Ravenous variation, she would have had all of those Baraka lunge moves, right? Kind of the same way Shang Tsung, in his Shapeshifter variation, all of the moves are in one variation slot, right? So this would have been Mileena's variation slot, right? I would have taken Kano's snake bite, right? This just imagine her doing this. I would have taken this from Kano, right? And obviously you can you know, do whatever with it afterwards. So yeah, all of that. So imagine that alongside Baraka's lunge, his gutted move would have all been within her Ravenous variation. The only way to replicate Mileena's role would be to take Kano's role and give it to her instead, right? But I wouldn't give her this one so that you could do it in the air. I would have just given her this, and I don't know, I could probably swap square wave. So instead of Kitana doing square wave, she does this instead. She does that instead, right? Instead of square wave. Because obviously that's one of Mileena's moves, the ball roll, but she does it on the ground. Anyway, you can't do it on the ground. That's probably asking too much in order to, you know, incorporate that into the Kitana template that's already here. And again, like I said before, when I was speaking to the person that can do mods, he said you can only swap things over. So I'm going to get to my point in a second. So I would have given her this from Kano and Kano Snakebite. Now, I think that's about it. Matter of fact, there's one last thing.
Kitana.
Wow, it delayed. One last thing. Because all of what I'm saying right now is gonna make a lot of sense in a second. So imagine what I'm doing right now is like, let's just say this is like her I would have just had this as like her piercing variation or something, yeah? So in that variation, it would have been
Kitana. Devora.
So this would have been in a piercing variation. Maybe even Sindel's low shot as well. But anyway, so I would have given her this as well, right? It's not the best move in the world here, but because it's in the game and it's got size, I would have just given it to the Mileena Mod. Let's just call it the Mileena Mod, right? Cool. So that would have been the piercing variation. And you know what? Just to keep things even more simple, I would have just left. What variation is there? I would have just left the fanfare variation as is. I would have just left it there. Okay. So she would have had the ravenous variation and piercing, because it's just a mod, right? Just to play around with. So it turns out that you can't, for whatever reason, in MK11, NRS has prevented people from being able to swap specific things over. You can swap a whole moves list. So let's just say I wanted Baraka's moves, right? I just wanted those 3 Baraka moves. I didn't want the whole of Baraka's moves list. You can give Kitana all of Baraka's moves, but for whatever reason they haven't made it so that you can do it just for specific moves, like just for the special moves that he has. So I'm very, very, very disappointed with NRS's I'm guessing it must have been a decision where they've locked things in the game that can't be altered or edited or changed. You can only swap things over. So you can make it so that Devora has Kitana's intros, Kitana has Devora's outros, Devora has Kitana's moveset, Kitana has Raiden's moveset. You could do that, but you can't do specific individual things. if you can do specific and individual things, I would have been able to have created this Mileena mod and given it away to people that to subscribe to me, right? But you can't do it. So it's just very, very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing. Oh yeah. She would have also had this as a part of the piercing variation too. Very, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Because not only is it disappointing that fan favorited characters isn't in the game, we're over that now. Because if someone wasn't originally planned for the game, meant to be in the game, then it's whatever. The game is good anyway, right? But it's like certain things away from being perfect. To not allow the modding community to be able to mod your game is very disheartening. I do understand that it's their game, it's their property, but you just need to look at other games that allow that to happen. Their community is flourishing, the game sells more, the game must sell more, I'm pretty sure it does, and you generate a lot more interest in your game when you allow the community, the fan base, to be able to mod the game. Just, I mean, if anyone doesn't believe me, look at Resident Evil 2 mods on YouTube. Your minds will be blown. Your minds will be blown. There is so many different mods for that game. It's unbelievable. And I'm not talking about trash mods. I'm talking about very high quality mods in that game. One of the best ones I've seen was Claire Redfield in the Jill battlesuit from Resident Evil 5. A very accurate new costume. It's amazing. Or the Cassie Cage mod for Resident Evil 2 remake. It's amazing. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But anyway, you can also, there's also a Mileena mod for Resident Evil 2. You can play as Mileena in Resident Evil 2 remake. So that's pretty much it. The last hope that would have been the last hope, as the thumbnail reads. That would have been the last hope. Allowing us to be able to mod a character that we would have wanted in the game would essentially mean we've got her in the game. Based on everything I just broke down as to how I would have had her in this game, that would have been good enough. And I'm gonna be honest, I think if I was able, or if it was possible to do what I just said in terms of a modded version of Kitana, which would make her into Mileena instead. Oh, I forgot one more thing as well. I kind of believe that it would be better than what NetherRealm themselves would do. In terms of if they was to introduce Mileena to MK11 in Combat Pack 2, for example. Because think about it, because we've asked for her for so long, we've begged for her, we wanted her to be in this game since the game was launched, and even before the game was launched. If they then bring her into the game,
Scarlet.
if they add her into the game, they would only be doing it because we begged them to do it. So if she's too underpowered or overpowered, needs a nerf, needs a buff, we won't be able to get it. Because we've asked for it for so long, we have to take what they're giving us.
War Cannon.
So that's why if they allowed a mod to be able to create whatever they wanted to create. In this example, a Mileena clone of Kitana using the Kitana template, then it is what it is. There will be no concerns with anything because you'll only be able to play it offline anyway, and there won't be any like debate on overpowered or underpowered because it's just a mod, which is why I feel like my version would have been better. Or matter of fact, I'll say high. There would have been a high chance of my version of a modded character being Mileena in this game would be better than what the creators would have made, because when the demand for something is too high, it's sometimes hard to meet that demand. But anyway, I've got Scarlet back on the screen because another thing I would have given her would have been this skin. I would have given her this exact Russian skin, but I would have made it pink. No, magenta, sorry. Which is a reddish pink, reddish purple, which is Mileena colors. And I would have taken off the hat, and I would have left Kitana's hair as is, and that's what this skin would be. This would be like a unique skin. But no, you can't even do that. You can't even change or alter skins in this game because they haven't allowed the modding community through their game to do that, which sucks. It sucks. But yeah, that is pretty much it. If through, I don't know, some kind of update or patch to the game that they then allow access from the modding community to do whatever they want in this game, then I'll return and I will try to make that happen. I will try to make that happen because I think it will be good content for the channel and it will just be fun. Like, I just think it would be fun to do some of Baraka's moves as Kitana, but in essence as like a Mileena mod. I just think that would be cool.
Kitana.
Let me change this back before I forget. So yeah, that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome because the mod, another good thing about mods is it extends the life of a game. When there's mods, you find new things to do in a game and it adds a whole new level of creation at barely any cost. At barely any cost. But no, they've restricted it. It just is something that can't be done in this game.
Kitana. Devora.
It cannot be done in this game.
Colosseum Beast Pen.
Damn, I was meant to pick Black Dragon Fight Club. I just think it would be awesome if that was something that can be done. If it could be done. And unfortunately you can't. Because just imagine, as this templated character of Kitana, you do, I don't know, Kano's snake bite. Or Baraka's lunge. You know? I just think that would be super dope, and that alone would extend the life of this game, I think. But I mean, this is still a great game, but I just think that sucks that you're not allowed to mod to your heart's content in a game that would so that really would need that kind of attention. This game would do wonders if that was the case. So yeah, just a short, quick stream. I will be live tomorrow on Twitch. So if you're not already following me on Twitch, my Twitch is in the description. And that is pretty much it's pretty much that's pretty much it. So thanks for joining. I will catch you live on Twitch tomorrow. Take care. Later.